Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Creative Caffeine podcast. What's up, guys? You are listening to the Creative Caffeine podcast. My name's Connor.
My name's Ben.
And in this podcast, if you're looking to live that creative life, this is the podcast for you. We're going to be talking all things video,
Photo,
and content creation. The good, the bad,
and the ugly.
So sit back, grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and enjoy. Happy days. How you doing, man?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. It's been a busy week. We've been recording pods. Back at it again.
Yeah.
It's weird because literally we've got a little different setup today. We're back on Riverside.
Yeah.
And
we are overseas.
We are overseas. We are upside down. We are in. Well, we're not in, but our guest is in Australia today, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking to Cameron Mcdonnell. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Oh, anytime, mate. Thank you for coming on the pod. So we like to start every podcast. I don't know if you've listened to the show before, but we like to start every podcast by asking our guests the same question. And that question is, what would you rather have? He knows what's coming. An SD card that never fills up or a battery that never dies?
What would I rather have? An SD card that never fills up or a battery that never dies? I guess I would go for the...
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to weigh it up. I'd go for the battery.
Good shout.
I don't really know what the reason is, but I'm going to go battery.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm more battery as well.
Yeah.
Although if you're a photographer, it might be slightly different, I guess, because like you can like take your shot, turn the camera off, and then turn it back on again. Whereas with a video, like for a wedding ceremony, my camera's just on for like straight for that whole time, so it rinses through it so quick.
That's it.
I guess.
That's a good question. I like that.
You get through maybe less batteries.
It's a tough one. It's sort of like weighing it all up, isn't it?
That's it, eh? I feel like really, it's a good one to put someone on the spot, definitely, because it's like you actually got to time. You got to think about it.
Yeah, literally. So, Cameron, you're a portrait photographer. What inspired you to pursue this field of photography?
In photography in general, to start with, it was more like I've always been into the creative side of things, you know, whether that's like filming, drawing, or anything like that, singing as well. That's just the way my family was.
Oh, nice.
And then growing up, I was always that kid with a video camera, the old camcorder and all that.
Know them first.
And yeah, and that was like throughout school days. And so throughout school, it was kind of like deemed uncool, you know, that kind of thing. So I kind of went with the trends and I put it down for some time. And it wasn't actually until I moved to London back in 2015, that I decided to get a decent like DSLR camera. Decent, I would say, like entry level now. Like it was a Canon 100D.
Nice.
And I took that over there just because I wanted decent quality photos of my travels. But I never, I had a 2-year visa and I never picked up the camera. Like pretty much didn't pick it up. I just went over there and because like you're on that, you're meeting people from all different like countries that all are coming over to do the same thing as you, which is pretty much just get out of their comfort zone and move to another country. So I was on that high. So I didn't even think about the camera side of things and whatnot. But I would take it with me every time I would go to a new country or anything like that. And I would just film a little bit. And that was it. I didn't really take too many photos. But I got into video first. That was my kind of passion that was growing. And then from there, I feel like I'm rambling on, but it all makes sense, I swear.
No, we love it. Love it.
Go for it.
And so from there, at that point, I would say we moved. So I met my partner over there, Dilly, and she moved back to Australia with me. And when we were here, this was the whole time where it was starting to become a realization that you can travel full time through like Instagram and all that, and be really location independent. So that was actually like, I didn't want to stop traveling at all. So I was like, what are some ways that we can actually make money online to continue our traveling and all that? So we started looking into it. We actually ended up in a couple like MLM, like pyramid schemes type thing, where you have to kind of...
All fun.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know what it really was at the time, but they were saying you can like work online and stuff like this. So I fell for it. And
They sound appealing at the time, don't they?
100%. And they prey on poor souls like myself. But what happened there was part of that was to create content, right? And so we did a big road trip in New Zealand and all that. And I decided, let's start a YouTube channel. So I started making travel videos and all this. And I said, like, you know what? Like, I don't really feel comfortable doing all this multi-level marketing and all this kind of stuff. What chunk of that do I like the most? And that is the creating content. And I was just like, what if I just dove into that? Because I love it. It's fun. It's something about editing and putting something together that you've made from scratch is just amazing to you sit back and watch. I'm sure you guys would know. And so from there, I was like, okay, yeah. And then by this stage, it's 2019, where I'm back in London. So we ended up moving back to London for 6 months. And I discovered these boys that live here in Australia from Melbourne. And I see that they do a bunch of creative photography. And I was like, I didn't like photography at all. Like, it was something that I just never tried really. And I thought it was kind of boring that you just go out and take photos of random shit, you know? But I saw these guys and they got really creative with it, like super creative with it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a go, see what I can do. So I went out, I switched over to manual. I was shooting in auto the whole entire time. So I was like, let's go to manual. Let's just have fun. Yeah, exactly. Let's just have fun with some long exposure shots. This is in London. I went to Tower Bridge and all that.
Nice.
I had
that is like the best place for long exposures, getting those red buses going past with the lights and stuff.
That's legit the photo that I got. And typical, but anyway, it's fun. And it went on from there. I said, like, I went back home. I said to Dilly, I said, that was all right. Like, I actually enjoyed that. Anyway, that was the moment where I said, like, okay, photography is not so bad. So I started like to shoot more, and I started to go for photo walks by myself. Put your headphones on and just go for a walk around and take photos. And then editing them, I found very, it was relaxing. It was very like, I very saw it therapeutic in a way. And then I would say, so this is just before 2020. I had to come back to Australia to renew my, get another visa to eventually return back to the UK. And Dilly stayed in the UK, and I was going to meet her in 3 months. COVID then happened, as we all know, and then I was stuck in Australia, and we were separated for a good chunk of time, like a year and a half. And then I just decided, I just decided to pour my entire like efforts into YouTube and learning how to do photography to the best I can, you know. And I started learning the skills, and that's where it really started to like grow for me. And I was trying like all different types. I was going like product photography, portrait photography. I was trying all these different action shots that you can do. I don't know if you know Geordie Coalytic. He was very like a big inspiration.
Oh yeah, no Geordie.
Yeah. So and that's pretty much it. But I found that I just gravitated towards portraits way more, and that's what I just decided to.
Portraits are nice and fun. You get to like. Yeah, you get to chill with people, you get to talk to people, and I know what you mean by like the therapeutic side of editing. Yeah. It's so much more chill.
That's because I'm not the only person that has an editing playlist on my Spotify. Relaxes. Nice. It is very therapeutic.
Literally, I could just like recline my chair back, put on some lo-fi beats, and just edit away. Whereas video, you got to be in the zone.
That's
Like,
what annoys me a little bit with videos sometimes. Like if I'm in a really like chilled out mood and like I'd love just to have some photos, I could just put on some lo-fi beats or something and just edit away. Whereas like with video, it's like I'm trying to switch between Spotify and then it's like, oh, I've actually got to do a bit of audio here and then, but yeah, photos
true.
I find a lot
100%.
more therapeutic.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so
that's it.
what are you shooting your portraits with at the moment? You mentioned your first camera was a Canon.
Yeah, so during 2020, I think it was, I ended up switching to Sony. And I got a Sony A7 III. Like,
Nice.
Like I think everyone goes to it. Are you boys
Yeah.
Sony?
You're
Yeah.
Yeah, you're A7 III.
Yeah.
I'm an A7 IV.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
They're great, aren't they?
Yeah. How's the 4 going?
The 4 is incredible. I haven't really found anything that I don't really like about it. A lot of people complain about like the 4K 60 crop, but I've sort of learnt to use it to my advantage. Like use it if I need a little bit more reach to get closer to something. I guess if I was something that I needed to shoot quite wide, like I don't know, like real estate or something, then I reckon it would come into, you know, like a downside. But I don't really do too much of that. I've been loving the A7 IV.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, that's good. Lens-wise...
Such a good camera. So
Yeah, sorry. Lens-wise, I go Tamron.
lens-wise, yeah. What are you using?
So I'll switch. I've got the 2 lenses. I switch between 17 to 28 Tamron 2.8 and the 70 to 180 as well.
Nice. 70 to 180.
Yeah, when I bought my Sigma 24 to 70, I was looking at the Tamron version. I can't remember what I think it was something similar to. But yeah, no, I was close to buying that Tamron as well.
Oh,
they
really?
have good
Yeah.
reviews as well, but I've never owned the Tamron. Like,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah,
It's one of those
I've owned a
things like
Tamron. I
do
know a lot of
budget
people that
for
do.
it? Yeah, do a budget or
Yeah.
just.
I was going to say,
you know,
are they
go
worth
all
it?
out.
Because I know they're a little bit cheaper as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gotten me to this
But no,
point. So
they-
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And mate, you're killing it. Like your work, I've seen like your reels and you're posting your photos on Instagram. It's really, really sick work.
thank you. Same to you, bro. Yeah, hell yeah. You're bloody killing it with the reels.
Cheers, man. Yeah, let's talk about Instagram. What's your current thought on the state of Instagram at the moment? Because a lot of photographers obviously aren't too keen on the current changes. I know there's like
Yeah.
rumors that photos are sort of back again, but what's your thoughts on Instagram at the mo?
So thoughts, like, yeah, I think so you got reels that kind of took over video. I think they are now bringing photos just on par with video back. That's what I've heard. That's, and all that. But in terms of reels, and yeah, I know, right? In terms of reels and the change, at first I wasn't on board at all. And I was hesitant to post any kind of reels at all. I was just like, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm going to do. It's just going to post photos. And then I was talking to my partner about it, and she was like, what are you doing? Like, take advantage of this now, be at the forefront. And, you can, this is what they're changing to. And because obviously they're competing with TikTok. This is what they're heading towards, and you want to be one of those people. And I get that you got to like swallow your pride a bit, and kind of not be so stubborn to the fact. Just know and be okay with that things change. Just adapt. That's the big thing. You got to pivot and adapt to whatever the changes are, because it's easier to change yourself than it is to change anything else. So yeah, so that's
True.
So in terms of reels, I don't mind them anymore. Like they really helped with my exposure. That's definitely a given. But finding your groove in making them and not allowing it to control the fun that you are having with photography. Try and do your best to make it fun. Batch content, If you go into it like it's a drag,
Batch content is absolutely key.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's where I stand. So I don't mind.
I found like dedicating I've dedicated like sort of 2 hours a week to sort of batch shoot some reels here at my desk, just like go through, find some sounds, or do some talking head shots to camera, and then I can just edit them all up and just schedule them throughout the week. I think like you were like not too keen on reels. Like I was a bit hesitant.
Yeah, I just find it harder to show your work sometimes in reels. It's like, because it's almost like you have to, like if I do a wedding video of someone, obviously it's landscape, and trying to cut that down to make it look good in portrait to share. I just don't think it looks as, like, I don't know, it just loses something when you put it portrait.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when you see a bunch of people do the
It
split.
looks awful.
Yeah, like if you've got something landscape,
Yeah.
you see so many splits, and it looks alright.
All different layers.
Yeah.
I've found what's working nicely for me to showcase my work is I'll use my camera or just set up my phone and just record like some BTS from when I'm on a photo shoot, and then I can make like a behind the scenes of this portrait shoot, behind the scenes of a branding shoot, and then I can integrate some photos into that and actually showcase the work.
I was going to say, if Instagram could make it so you could make like a landscape reel, so when you turn your phone, you can watch it landscape, it'd be fine, because it would be so much easier just to share like any work I've done, but it's just a bit of a pain at the moment. But
that's it.
I don't know, I just find its uses. Did
you use
I'm not as hot
IGTV
on the real
much
game
when it was
as you,
there?
but yes.
I didn't really use IGTV. It sort of lasted for a few months and then sort of died off, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
It was a weird one.
yeah, but I don't know,
They quickly killed it, didn't they?
yeah, just like Instagram.
Just like Instagram. So when it comes to client work, like we love to like provide a bit of value for people. This podcast is definitely for people who like want to get into photography. So how do you approach like working with clients? Like what steps you take to, I think the most important thing is making sure that people are like comfortable on a shoot, because I know a lot of people that book photo sessions with me, it's like their first time sort of being in front of camera. Either they don't know how to pose, they don't know what location they want. What's your usual approach?
My I'm not gonna lie, I'm still in that transition phase at the moment. So there isn't a whole lot of experience when it comes to shooting with clients, but from the experience that I do have, in terms of making them, well, first in terms of reaching out first, it's just cold pictures to
Nice.
email pictures to them. You learn from people, so you learn from different people here and there, and you're kind of taking bits and pieces to kind of form your own way of being able to approach a brand or people in general, because I do portrait work, whether that's just like they just want a cool portrait of themselves or couple photos or anything like that. You're gonna get like 80% no one's gonna respond back to you at all.
Oh yeah.
But
Which is a nice little kick to the ego.
a little bit, yeah. Like just keep reminding yourself that is gonna happen. Like it's just how it is. But the more you reach out and the more you actually put yourself out there, you will get a few, and that's just how the game works, really. Unfortunately, but fortunately as well, because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it,
Very true. Most of my work, I'd say, comes ironically through Instagram, which is nice. It means, I guess, what I'm doing on there is working. What about you? Like,
I'm mainly just word of mouth, to be fair. Like, I get so many messages saying like, "Oh, I saw your wedding video for this person. Like, like, what's your prices and stuff?" And then, I mean, I get a bit through Hitched as well. And then, in terms of like music videos as well, it's just people that I know that they've seen the video, and then it's a lot. Of
because that's good. Word of mouth actually is like one of the most powerful things, because you're making a specific style. You're making something specific, right? And it's a wedding video or music video. And for a music video, the person you're shooting that for, they're hanging out with other artists. They're hanging out with other people in that, so your name gets around so easy.
It's just free promo.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
word of mouth is definitely like the best form of marketing, like without a doubt, because I've tried only a few times just running ads on Instagram, and then they also go over to Facebook as well. apparently Facebook's still a thing. But I'll run ads, and then not as effective as word of mouth, because the amount of ads you see on Instagram anyway, it just sort of just blends into the system. Whereas if someone who's actually done a shoot with you and has positive things to say about their experience says that to someone else and then they go to you, that's definitely a much more powerful form of getting work, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's the trust. Like someone, if someone tells me, you know, oh, like Connor, he's an amazing videographer. He just did this for me. That person, they trust that. That's a friend saying that, you know. So you're going to take their word for it. So whereas you see an ad, you got to build that kind of trust with someone you don't know, you know. So it's like word of mouth, amazing.
Definitely. Like, what's been your favorite photo session you've done? I know mine. It was like with a country singer. It was on the set of her music video, and it was in a barn, like just full of like haystacks. Like, you know Georgia Nevada?
No.
She's like a country singer around here in the UK.
No, I don't think I've heard of her.
I'll show you some of the photos.
I'll see the photos.
That was like my favorite shoot, because it was just like the most country music thing I've ever seen. Like, but what's been your favorite photo session you've done?
It's actually probably between two. There's two different ones. I did a shoot.
Nice.
In so it was this really cool cafe that was in so I'm on the Gold Coast now. It's just back in Newcastle, and it was a cafe that looked like a library or a bookshop or something like that. And
cool.
Yeah, I went in there that morning. So I had a coffee there, we caught up with a friend. It was the first time I'd been here, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I love the look of this. This looks amazing. I'd love to do a photo shoot. So I actually, before I left, I went up to I think it was the owner, and I asked her, I said, hey, sorry, I'm a local photographer. I really love the look and vibe of your cafe. Would you mind if I ever did a portrait shoot in here one day? And then I also offered, like, I would also at the time take a couple photos for you to put up on social media. And they were so happy. They were like, oh, nice. Yeah, for sure. Like, definitely. So I came back that weekend or something like that, organized a shoot, and that was really good. Yeah. And it's that
nice.
One.
We get a lot of
where,
like cafe library shops here.
There was another one where
we get a lot, like
I think it's the time difference.
It's the time difference. We're like 10 hours apart.
You go.
But yeah, here in the UK, like that's like a really like popular thing. We've got so many like library/coffee shops, and they all look like really, really cool. I've not had like a shoot in like that sort of environment before, but I think, did you post the photos on Instagram? I think I saw them. They looked really cool.
Yeah, they're on there. Yeah.
I was going to say,
thanks, mate.
It's like back when we used to vlog, we just used to film in Fussy and Bear, didn't we, in the local coffee shop? And then like I just asked them, I was like, oh, when I was back at uni, I was like, oh, can I shoot my film in here? And they were absolutely fine with it as well, just as long as like we just tagged them. And so that was, they're always good locations to use, aren't they?
Most people would be fine with it. Like that, it's like you're not hurting anyone, you know. It's more, it's fun, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's speaking of locations, where's your favorite place to edit? I've got my office here, so sometimes I like to edit in the office. Sometimes I like to like edit in a cafe. What about yourself?
Cafes. Going to a random cafe.
Yeah.
And I'll throw on these headphones and just get into it. Or not even. Sometimes I won't even have the headphones on because I like the background noise. And it helps me get in the zone better. Yeah.
Do you know what I found on Spotify the other day? I was just sort of stumbling through some like playlists, looking for a new playlist, and I actually found a playlist called Coffee Shop Ambience, and I thought it was going to be.
I followed that as well. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like some nice sort of jazzy sort of piano music, but no, it was actually like coffee shop sounds.
You just hear cups clinking and stuff.
Yeah, it was so random.
Did you listen to it fully?
Yeah, it was so. I did. I had it on for like 20 minutes or so, and I had to remind myself that I'm actually here in my office and not in a coffee shop.
Nice.
Sad times when when the realization hits.
Literally, yeah, it was so weird.
Go get a coffee.
I just want to ask a huge favour. We're a relatively new podcast, and it would be incredible if you could support the show by giving us a like or follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to or watching us on. And if you could give us a review, that would be even better. It helps us get up the charts. The bigger the show gets, the bigger the guests get. The aim of this show is to give you guys value. The bigger the guests we get, the more value you guys get. It would be amazing to have your support with that. So without further ado, back to this week's episode.
So when it comes to editing, what's like your usual process? Like, do you
Yeah.
obviously import all the photos and stuff? Yeah. What's your usual process when it comes to editing?
First I'll make a coffee. That's number one. I'll make a coffee, and that kind of really gets me into the, like, it's like a ritual that you do. It's like a routine that just helps me
Yeah.
get in
That's
the
like
mood.
me as well.
You know, yeah. And so I'll be doing that, and then I'll come sit down, and then once everything's uploaded, this is like a little discussion between photographers. I like the culling process of portraits. Like,
Yes.
I love going through it, and again, for me, it's the same kind of meditation type vibe where I'm just going through, and I'm like, just culling away, and this looks good. I'll skip. This one looks good, So I'll do all that first, and then obviously rate everything, get down to the final ones that I want to edit. But even then, while I'm doing the editing, not every photo turns out like how I want it to or anything like that. So I'll probably scrap a lot of photos so it's just this whole process of like getting it down to the best ones that I think I'm proud of. Yeah, and then
I think it's a thing that a lot of people don't understand about photography is we'll come away from a shoot with, say, like 300, sometimes 400 photos, and then we've got to somehow narrow it down to like a small handful. I like yourself, like the culling process, because I'll look through photos and I'll see the ones that I'm like not happy with, and I can see it's sort of like self-improvement. You can see where it went wrong or what you don't like about it. What about you, bro?
I don't know, because obviously I do a lot more video, and culling in video terms is
Yeah.
like the worst thing, to the point where it's like if I have like enough money at that point, I could easily just hand it off to someone else. Whereas photo culling I do enjoy. Whenever I do any photo shoots, it's just that. I think it's more the, like, obviously you see it on your camera screen, but it's terrible quality compared to what it is on your Mac when you open it up. So
Yeah.
that just kind of like seeing the shots in like full scale for the first time is a bit like, it's almost like, well, I've just recently started shooting a bit of film, and it's almost like getting your film prints sent back to you, and it's like, this is what the photos look like. It's kind of that. It's almost like, I don't know, it's that really kind of apprehensive, like, are they going to look good? Because like even the tiny bit of motion blur, you're not always going to notice like on your camera screen, but I guess when you open it in Lightroom, it's like,
it definitely does help in the sense of what Connor you were saying about improvement, about seeing how like this photo looks good, this doesn't, it really trains your eye to see what's aesthetic.
Yeah, defo.
And all that. Yeah, so that's another good reason.
So let's chat like inspiration. Who's your biggest inspiration when it comes to photography?
Now it's her name is Marina Williams. She's a portrait photographer, and she does really very vibrant and colorful portraits. Like she'll put together concepts that she'll draw inspiration from a wall or any kind of fabric or anything like that, and then she'll match the clothes to that, or vice versa. She'll find an item of clothing that she goes into like a thrift shop, and she was just like, oh, this looks amazing and colorful and very different to what anyone would ever like see. Let's base a concept around that. And so she'll like piece it together. She puts a lot of effort into her work. And that's kind of like, she's at this level where I want to be, you know, I want to get there. She's that, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So she's definitely my biggest inspiration at the moment. Yeah.
Nice. I love that sort of when like the outfit sort of matches, like say like the background or the like the look and feel of the location. Say if they're like wearing a red dress and there's like, you know, some red aesthetic in like the background and location. I love it when it just all like
Blends.
syncs up nicely.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like clockwork. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What about yourselves?
Defo. So for after you, bro.
Oh, it's a hard one. There's quite a lot. So, I mean, yeah, there's people for different types of things, I guess. In terms of video, I think mainly, well, it's got to be Chris, Peter, and Matty.
Yeah.
The dope squad. And then, I don't know, so there's just so many different accounts on Instagram. There's almost like, there's not one specific person. If I have a shoot on one day, it's almost like I'll open Instagram and then I'll find a bit of inspiration and just kind of use that on the day and just kind of,
Yeah.
well, not use the same style as such, but kind of maybe take a little bits of it and maybe like some angles that they've used or something. But like you mentioned as well, Geordie Coalitic as well. He's like insane how he works his way around just an iPhone, and it's like he can make some insane like next level content just from an iPhone camera.
Unreal.
100%.
But no, it is unreal.
For me, it's got to be like, yeah, it's got to be Peter McKinnon. Like, yeah, it's
I mean, even JRL for me, a lot of
JRL,
his,
yeah, true, yeah.
like After Effects work is just like mind blown.
I think
Yeah,
Peter McKinnon was
absolutely.
actually the first, definitely the first for me. That he was the first person that I saw that you don't need a huge production team to make something look cool, you know. And I was just like, wow, that's probably, I would say that's probably, he was a big help for me getting into video when I was doing the travel videos. And stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting that you say like the video thing, because I know a lot of like creatives will start with photo. I know I definitely started with taking pictures and then moved on to the video side of things, because I've spoken to a lot of people and they're like, oh, video's scary, I don't know how to edit, don't know like how to color grade, whereas photos it seems
I
a lot
must have
easier.
been quite backwards then, because obviously, well, I started YouTube like way back at school.
True, yeah.
And then, well, obviously everyone started on like the most basic free editing software. So I did that for like a year, and then like found Premiere Pro CS6 or something on some pirated website and kind of got to know that. And then as soon as I went into college, you can get like the Adobe, like the student version of Adobe. So got onto that because like my mum does a lot of photography as well. So we kind of just shared the cost of that out.
Oh, cool.
And so, we both use that now. And then, so by the time I was at college and uni, when they were trying to teach everyone how to use Premiere and stuff, I was like, I've been using it for 2 years already. So I definitely started with video. And then, I don't know, as I got a better camera, because my first cameras were mainly for video as well. So as soon as I got my first, like my Canon DSLR way back, SLR, that was very much like when I started photos, because I was like, oh, it could take some nice photos. And then obviously now I've got Sony, it's just like takes the same photos, so you can't really not take any photos when you got that. But
yeah, definitely.
No, I was very backwards compared to you.
Yeah. What's been your favorite travel film that you've made?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. It's funny because like I stopped making videos so long ago. I forgot what have I made. Oh no, actually I did I did one of those 2000. Yeah, I know. But I've done one of those 2000, like, you know, your yearly look back of what your year was like.
I like your recap of the year sort of thing.
Exactly, yeah. So I did a 2019 one. So this is just before COVID and all that. And so I made one of that. I made that, and yeah, I was super proud of that one because it's one of those videos that you look back on and it's just a good time. It's just like, damn, that was a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I mean,
that
we went to VidCon that year, didn't we? That
We-
was my
we
last
did,
memory
yeah.
before COVID was
Going to
VidCon.
VidCon, which is like a YouTube creator sort of summit sort of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they do them in different countries, or is it literally?
I did. Did they do VidCon in Australia?
I
I know they do
couldn't
Comic
tell
Con
ya.
in other countries, don't they?
Yeah, I think they
But-
do.
Not sure if they do or
I was
not.
gonna say, yeah, it was so strange because obviously, like, all the news was just like, oh my god, wash your hands, do this, do that, and then we were just like, oh, what the hell, like, it's just a cold. And then little do we know, it was like the week after or something, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
like,
literally.
lockdown.
I guess that 2019
like
like
last
recap of
creative
the
one.
year
Yeah.
is pretty epic because that's like a whole
All we
year
really
of like
got of that year, really, wasn't it?
yeah, really like a whole year of like really like good times, and then like a year and a half of just like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Although I
definitely.
was very creative in that year and a half of nothing, it like spurred me out to go on so many walks and stuff, and the weather was really nice for the most part of lockdown that I actually like felt really creative because I felt like it's the only thing keeping you sane. Like you kind of
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, oh, I enjoy making videos, so you do it just to pass the time by and keep happy, really, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I guess.
There was definitely that it went one or two ways. You either did something with your time, you know, whether that's gaining skill or just being creative and, you know, keeping yourself sane, or you just sat around on the couch and just watched Netflix
Yeah.
or whatnot. And yeah, it was it was the pivoting point for a lot of people, you know. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was actually a blessing in disguise, I would say.
Yeah, I think as well it's like the fact that obviously like Matty Apoya was like boosting out daily content at that point as well. I think there was so much motivation because I had so much time to sit at home just watching YouTube, and I was just inspired by like everything. So I almost feel like when I watch my vlogs back from then, it was just like, oh, I've taken more time over the editing of it because I had the time.
Yeah,
You can
that's
kind
it.
of see a difference, but yeah.
Definitely. Like I definitely sort of like during like lockdowns and stuff, definitely sort of practiced like my portrait photography sort of like techniques and stuff. And you know, when we'd go out and just go shoot photos, it's like, touching back on like the therapeutic side of things. Even though we take photos, you know, for a living, you know, to keep the lights on, to pay the bills, there's somehow like that sort of separation of when you go out and take photos with
Yeah.
mates that it doesn't actually feel
Yeah.
like work,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, 100%, man. I agree with you completely.
which is nice.
Yeah. Do you guys have many
It's-
photography friends, like friends in the creative field?
Yeah.
There's a nice big community where we are, which is nice.
has helped the podcast out a lot because we've got so many people that we can just be like, oh, come on the podcast and tell us about what you do.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Amazing.
we've got, well, the three of us with like Dave, and then we've got Bradley as well. We've got literally just so many people locally that I wouldn't say all do the same.
They all
type
do a
of
little bit of
video.
everything, don't they?
Yeah, like Dave's like mainly weddings, Bradley does like mainly corporate stuff, you do photos, and it's like, so if you ever need any advice on any different area or ever need a second shooter for something specifically, you're more than likely going to have them on offer here, which is quite
Yeah,
good.
that's great. Yeah, for sure.
What's it like where you are? Is there like a big sort of creator community where you're based?
Like, that's been one of, I would say, one of the biggest struggles. I would like doing photography where I used to be based, down in Newcastle. There's not that many creators. Like, we have a few photographers around, but yeah, down in Newcastle. Yeah, we have a Newcastle here as well. Yeah, so
It's up for us.
It's up for us, yeah.
so finding people was it was a bit hard. And so hence we moved up to the Gold Coast, and it's been a lot better here. Like, there are more creatives here, photography, video and all that. But even then, I've been here in a year now, and I've only just started to meet other people who are kind of like doing the same similar thing to me, and you know they want to make something of themselves, and they want that that freedom to work for themselves as well, doing the thing they love. So that has been really a big boost of motivation for myself, because it's now there are other people here doing this, and we can all just like lift each other up, sort of thing. So yeah,
Nice.
It's definitely great to have a community. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, we've got a nice little community here. You know, with, you know, some people doing like specific things. Like some people will do music videos, some people will do portrait photography, some people will do like newborn, boudoir, couples, wedding photography, all that sort of stuff.
We just met through YouTube.
Yeah, we just met through YouTube, which is pretty
Really?
cool.
Yeah, that's cool. How long have you guys known each other?
Yeah.
When was 2018?
2018, yeah,
I think
2018.
possibly the end of 2018.
Yeah, something like that.
Christ.
That's when
Yeah.
we found each other on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So
Nah, that's good.
as we wrap up, like what's one piece of advice that you'd give to an aspiring portrait photographer who's sort of like just starting out, they've just got a camera and they're looking to have this as their potential career?
I would say probably like just try and block out the noise of everything that's negative towards it. Go for it. But the thing you need to go for before you even do that is kind of, you have to believe in yourself. So work, and this might be hard to hear for someone to hear this, but you got to work on your mindset. Like that is your mind is literally what's going to get you to where you want to be. If you don't have the mindset for it, you're probably going to give up. But you have to have that drive and know that you can shift your mindset. Like that's not impossible to do. You can train the way you think and how you look at things. So I would say start there and truly learn to believe in yourself, and then you're gonna go. You're gonna, like, the sky's the limit. So yeah.
That's powerful stuff,
Awesome.
man. No, that's epic. Like, yeah, definitely a lot of people need to hear that. Mate, thank you so much for coming on the pod. What have you got coming up? Like yourself wise, like
So
jazz.
I'm aiming to do turn my living room space into a studio. So I'm in a share house at the moment, and so I've talked with the other housemates, and they're all cool with it. So I'm gonna be aiming to do that to be able to do more creative stuff in the studio. But I'm also looking to do and take on weddings, and so I'll be doing
Nice.
yeah. So nice. Yeah. So I'm doing that. I'm actually teaming up with
Big
another
step.
creator. Yeah, in the Goldie. So we've just both decided we're kind of in the same situation at the moment, and we just said, hey, literally last week I had a shoot last weekend, and he was just like, hey bro, do you want to team up to do weddings? And I was a bit hesitant at the start, because the reason I haven't done it for so long was because I didn't want to deal with the stress, the anxiety, the pressure of the wedding.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't want to let that.
But it's a nice
that
little earner, though,
fear-
isn't it? So,
Yeah, I didn't want that fear to stop me from doing it. So, and the potential,
Yeah.
like it can only be beneficial for me, really. You know, it's going to boost my confidence. I'm going to get better at, like, taking control of the situation and stuff like that. So I said, fuck it. So let's do it. So that's what's coming up.
It's a nice little push as well, I guess. If you're in the same position as me, trying to go from having a job to being full-time in video, it's like, because you can charge a little bit more for weddings, it can almost push you over that little kind of halfway point between needing another job, where you're more likely going to be able to turn it full-time if you get like regular wedding work, I guess, as well.
100%.
So
Agree.
you can't really say no.
Yeah.
Oh, epic stuff, man. Well, mate, not that you need it, but good luck with everything. You're absolutely killing it. Thank you so much for coming on the pod. And people listening, don't forget to check out Cameron's socials, Instagram, YouTube. Are you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok.
I know some photographers aren't a big fan of TikTok.
No, I started
it's
it
sort of like
recently, so I was like,
I'm on TikTok.
May as well. I've got the content, so
I don't
may as
mind
well
it.
Just try and put it on there as well. Yeah.
Exactly. We'll leave all like your links in the description. Everyone, thanks for listening, and
I was gonna say have a good day, but
have a good evening.
I'll have a good
Have a
sleep.
good night,
I'll have
yeah.
a good sleep tonight. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I've really appreciated it.
Amazing stuff, man. And thanks for coming on, bro.
awesome.
Cheers.